Behaviorist Biography Project by Suzette Pennock. Philip Heinlein, Professor, Temple University College of Education. Philip Heinlein currently serves as professor at Temple University, where he co-founded the interdisciplinary master's program in applied behavior analysis with Dr. Paul Axelrod. He gained his BA at Hamilton College and his PhD at Harvard University. He spent 3 years at Walter Reed Army Institute of Research and has since worked at Temple University. He teaches both at the advanced level and basic level and is much involved in research and academia. He has several distinguished awards for his work, both at Temple University and from others in the field. He has served as president of several behavior analysis associations, such as the American Psychological Association and the Society of Experimental Analysis Behavior. He has garnered Great Teacher of the Year Award from Temple and Distinguished Teacher of the Year Award. He has also received the Eleanor Hofkin Award for Excellence in Teaching from the Alumni Association of the College of Arts and Science from Temple University. He received the Fred S. Keller Behavioral Education Award from the Division 25 of the American Psychological Association. He has also been editor to the Basic Research Division 25 of the APA. He continues to be an integral part of the behavior analysis community. He performs most of his research in the lab using rats and pigeons. His conceptual writing is mostly focused on the characteristics of explanatory language and the role these characteristics play in controversies that have plagued behavior analysis. More recently, Heinlein in 2018 has included studies on children with autism and remediation for people with closed head injuries. On the Temple of University website, Philip Heinlein posits that the general unifying theme of the research in his lab is that extended time relations in behavioral process This falls in line with many of his research. There are 2 videos links from YouTube that one shows an interview that was done with him several years ago that is of interest if you click on the links, and the other is a presentation he gave that is also of current research. There hasn't been any recent interviews or videos that I was able to find, or any recent pictures either. Most everything that I have seen are just articles that he has written. And this, he states clearly, is because he spends most of his time in the lab working and not much time out in the field working with actual people. And he thinks this is a weakness of his and that he wishes that he had done more things like that. I looked at 5 articles and they are listed in the following 2 slides. The first one is We Need Multi-Scaled Analysis, Journal of Experimental Analysis of Behavior. And this one was written specifically by him. The second was written also by him. And The other two were written with with colleagues. The fourth one is the one that goes contrary to what he normally does. And that is the most recent of his research. And that one goes out in the field and actually deals with a person and was not conducted in the lab. The first article, he is responding to an article that was written by Dinsmore in 2001. And the article is titled "Stimuli Inevitability Generated by Behavior That Avoids Electric Shock Are Inherently Reinforcing." And he uses evidence from several authors and researchers to provide evidence to support his argument that Dinsmore is wrong in his theory. Heinlein argues that Dinsmore is oversimplifying an experiment that he designed and carried out with rats using electroshock therapy. He selects portions of the arguments that he disagrees with and explains the mechanism and outcome of the experiment to support his disagreement with Dinsmore. This is something that he does over in more than one article. He selects pieces from other people in the field that either he supports what they have done or he does not support what they have stated, and he argues the merits or the demerits of that paper, and then he tells you why he does not agree with them. And that follows with the same with this second article by Baum, where he talks about behaviorism in private events and Moeller view of behavior. And he agrees more with what Baum is saying about private, internal, and non-private, non-internal statuses, but he also tells you why he does or does not. The third is the views of the mentalist and the behavior. And he expounds on the fact that Skinner started out by trying to move away from the mentalist view in the language that was plaguing behavior analysis. And he thought that by doing so, he oversimplified the whole process and may have created more problems. This is the fourth one where he went into the field and he actually strayed away a little bit from what he normally does. And here he takes a pre-adolescent female with ADHD, and he wanted to see if removing the overstimulated environment that exists normally, if he took that person out of that situation, placed them in a non-stimulating situation, and they would be able to lose weight by putting them on an exercise time and changing the stimulus and reinforcement issues. And he gave the results pre and post the experiment, and those results were presented. The next one is about schedules, and for this he used pigeons, and this is an older research, and he was looking for random schedule reinforcement. And this again is one where he was arguing a little bit about the difference with another researcher and where they differed in how how they worked in random schedules. This was conducted primarily in the lab with what his primary focus is, working with animals, pigeons, and rats. This is a summary of my mock interview that I did with the researcher. Based on the other interviews that I saw with him and everything I've read about him, I thought he was thoughtful and polite, well informed and knowledgeable about all aspects of behavior analysis. He implied that he had never had an inclination to do any other type of work, and I'm basing this on the fact that he's done this all his entire life, and that he enjoys teaching students and that are new to behavior analysis. And this is, again, I'm implying because he still teaches lower level students. And I because in Article 4, especially, he argues, he puts several questions at the end of the Article 4, where he believes that further research can be done to engage and influence and explore and really explode this area of research. I believe that he is hoping that this field, behavior analysis, will just keep going and continue and thrive even when he is long gone. In conclusion, I believe that Philip Handline continues and will continue to have a great impact on the study of behavior analysis. His research and analysis is widely accepted and relevant and valid. Right now, to behavior analysis and to the study of behavior analysis. One thing I noted that he implores his colleagues not to get marked down on the markability of behavior analysis, as that would yield mistakes in the long run. And that is something that even as a freshman to the study of behavior analysis, I have noticed, and I would also agree with him that behavior analysis has become the new it thing, and that if we're not careful, it can become as marketable as initially psychology was no, and then it became everybody had their weekly session, and then mistakes were made. And I think we could become that if we don't watch what's happening. That's it for now.